This is NTV.
All right, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the show. This is Your World, and my name is Winnie Lubembe. And of course, like I said when we started the show, that is earlier this week, that I'm just going to say Happy New Year to every one of you. until the end of the week, right? Because someone said we never stop saying Happy New Year. So if we've not seen each other, Happy New Year. It's so good to have you this morning right here on Your World. And today, like we said, we'll be focusing on setting goals for the year, and this is throughout the week. So today we're actually completing the series with a very important aspect of our lives, and that is when it comes to relationships. Because as they say, whether you're dealing with romantic partners, family, friends, or even co-workers, maintaining healthy boundaries can help you strengthen relationships, avoid unhealthy connections, and also improve your self-esteem and overall well-being. So despite boundaries being necessary, it can be difficult to set, and even more to ensure that people respect it. So then how do we navigate this rather uncomfortable moment? Well, that is what we'll be talking about today, and that is relationships in general. And when we talk about relationships, again, like we just said, we're not only focusing on the romantic side of the scene, right? We have co-workers, we have friends, we have, you know, different people that we meet, let's say, on a daily. So maintaining boundaries, again, is very, very important. But then again, how do we set that? But we'll also be focusing on healthy relationships and what exactly does that mean. So you want to stick around until the end of the conversation. But again, if you have a question, feel free to use the numbers on your screen, and which will be down on your screen actually in a moment, and let us know, how do you feel about this whole question about setting boundaries and maintaining and forging healthy relationships? And the question that we're asking you today is, what relationship boundaries have you set, right? What relationship boundaries have you set? And of course, in this sense, we are talking about family, we're talking about co-workers, we're talking about, you know, the different aspects of our relationship. And like I said, you know, not necessarily on the romantic side, but also that is one key important factor as well. So to help us understand how we navigate this whole aspect about relationships and boundaries and all those things, we have one amazing woman. I am pretty sure we all know her, all right? And we all love her. And of course, she wears so many hats. She is a psychologist. She is a certified professional coach, all right? She is a relationship expert as well as an author. I am talking about Jenny Karina. It is so good to have you this morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
How's everything on your end?
All is well.
All is well. I like that. Well. I like that. And of course, it seems like we're in the spirit.
I see that.
Right?
I see that.
Based on the colors. And it's so interesting how we were talking about earlier on that both of us were not like so green persons, yes, but we found ourselves today. So
we found ourselves with a green.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, green is a good color. Again, talks about what wealth and, you know, and life, yes, and all those things. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But it's so good to have you this morning. I have watched your interviews. I have seen them, and it's just amazing. So it's amazing to have you really with us today to help us really understand and navigate the whole question about relationships. And there's a statement, or I would say a quote that I read that says, relationships do not just happen. They are forged. Can we just start from there? Because it's a very, very strong statement, yeah?
Very strong statement.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Yeah. So what exactly, you know, does that mean? That they are forged? They don't just happen, you know?
I guess everything is about growth.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to relationships, there is a beginning.
Yeah.
And there is an end.
True.
And so in between, what happens is you nurture that relationship and it grows. And it grows in the direction that you desire for it to grow. So you need to have a plan, you need to have an intention, and you really need to have an objective. Why am I choosing to have a relationship with you?
Okay.
What is the outcome
Of
of this journey that we want
yeah.
to begin?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I like the fact that you mentioned intention,
Yes.
which most of the time is very, it's neither here or there, and especially
Yes.
for so many people. We just go about life, you know, living, interacting, and that's it.
Yes.
The intention part of the same sometimes is usually lacking, and there's a danger in that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because many times where relationships are concerned,
Yeah.
we take it for granted. Chemistry has brought us together. You know, coincidence, we are working in the same office.
Yeah.
We just assume that everything will go normally. However, relationships are very dynamic, and this is as a result of who we are
Yeah.
in terms of personality, in terms of our values, our culture, our background, and most importantly, our childhood upbringing.
Absolutely.
And so how I view relationships may be very different from
Yeah.
how somebody else views relationships.
Yeah.
And how I choose to attach myself in a relationship
Yeah.
is very different from somebody else.
Okay.
Because our attachment is based on our security. Are we secure? How did we grow up? Do we have insecurities?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, then we connect in a very different way.
And it's interesting because, again, our upbringing and our early, it's usually said, what, like our early childhood, you know, stages, that sort of informs how we're going to interact with people,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And how we're going to, and even on our perception really about life and relationships, you know, and friendships, and that sort of informs our decision when it comes to, you know, choosing the people who we want to interact with and others that
Absolutely.
we don't. But what about people who don't know the impact of their childhood and what that is doing to them in adulthood? That level of, you know, not aware of how I am feeling emotionally, maybe physically, maybe mentally as well, and how that sort of, you know, affects how I relate with people. Because sometimes we think that's normal. See, that is how we were growing up. We didn't think there's any sort of like level of trauma or not trauma when it comes to our upbringing. How does that then affect our relationships?
Yeah. Many times I'm just thinking that I meet many individuals that are struggling in their relationships. And when they are struggling in their relationships, it's always about the other person and what they did or did not do.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that it begins with me.
Okay.
Now, when you have had a challenged childhood, or when you don't have a secure attachment style, when you are struggling with several inadequacies, what then happens is that you don't trust your world. You don't trust your relationship partner. You don't trust your colleague. You are somewhere you are unable to create any boundaries because you are afraid of rejection.
That's true.
So as a result of that, you need what is called self-awareness.
Yeah.
All right? So many people are not self-aware, unfortunately.
No.
Okay? And so if you're not self-aware, you want to be self-aware. We support individuals to design their life so that they can be successful at a professional level and at a personal level. To be able to do that, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself this question: who am I? Yes.
You know, sometimes that is a very difficult and scary question.
Yes.
Because we are afraid of what comes out, you know, the answer that comes out from that question. But it is necessary to ask that very tough question and be honest with ourselves. Because most of the time we tend to look at it on a superficial level, you know. And even when someone asks, so who are you? Be like, I am a mother, I am a friend, I am an aunt, I am this, I am that. But really,
who are you?
Who are you?
Yes.
I really like that. So start with that.
Yes.
Start understanding who you are.
Who you are.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Okay.
They say awareness is the heartbeat of therapy. You need to be your own therapist.
Okay.
And unless you are self-aware, then you'll not be aware of the environment around you.
Right.
You will not have self-care. You will not be mindful of yourself and others around you, simply because you really don't know what you need and how you can apply that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In the day-to-day relationships.
In the day-to-day.
And I like the fact that we start with that, getting to understand who we are, because like we said earlier on, that informs the choices that we make, and in this case, relationships.
Yes.
And like we said, relationships and how we interact with our co-workers, our family members, romantically as well.
Yes.
And since we're talking about boundaries today, and in the beginning of the year, because majority of the times we usually struggle with the same. So before we even get to the whole question about, so then how do you set boundaries? Why are boundaries necessary? And how do you respond to how people respond to the boundaries that you have set? Let's talk about healthy relationships and what exactly does that look like before we even get to the point of setting boundaries, and not make it difficult to set these boundaries because we come from a level of awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
So healthy relationships are very critical, and they are really fundamental in each individual's life. And we begin to relate from childhood, and the relationship we have with our parents and the significant others continues to form who we are. When we talk about building healthy relationships, one of the things that we need to be totally aware of is that with the core of who we are is founded on our core values. And so we begin there. Even as you are desiring to have healthy relationships, what does healthy relationships mean to you may be totally different from what they mean to somebody else. All right? So it is important to define what a relationship is for you and how you perceive it to be healthy. But generally, a healthy relationship is governed by your core values. Your faith, your culture, your tradition. It is also governed by communication. The communication is the core.
It's important.
Important aspect of a relationship. And then the foundation of a relationship is governed by trust. If I can't trust you, how can we have a relationship? Okay? And so trust is the glue and the foundation of our relationship. So do we have trust? Yes, we do. Are we governed by our core values? Yes. And so because your core values and my core values are different, what boundaries have we put in place so that we have levels of limits? What I can do, cannot do. All right? Are you in a situation where you're feeling tired, used, overwhelmed, manipulated in a relationship? Many people are there. I'm so done. I'm done.
And listen, sometimes you don't even recognize that is what is happening. Because either you're so used to that, or maybe you saw that happen when you were growing up. That before you realize, listen, no, I do not actually like how this makes me feel. Is then, you know, to that level is when you'll set boundaries and say, listen, no. Let's not continue, you know, with this trajectory, because I don't like how it makes me feel. So so then when we talk about making sure that then we have healthy relationships around us, because I can play my part,
Yes.
but what if the person who's next to me is not playing their part to make sure that we nurture this relationship, and whether it is romantic, whether it is with our family members, whether it is with our friends or our co-workers, what if everybody else is not playing their part? I am just the only one who's playing my part. Of course, you will feel you will feel that way,
overwhelmed,
right?
yeah.
So then, what do you do? Because you are trying to nurture and forge this relationship, but the people around you are not.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about a workplace relationship, for example.
All right.
You don't really need to like me,
For us to work
but
together.
we've got some work to do. We've got some targets to achieve.
Yeah.
I didn't come here because we need to love one another.
No.
We just need to have a relationship that helps us to achieve our
common
objectives.
goal, yes.
All right?
Yeah.
So if you are looking for a lovey-dovey relationship with me at the workplace, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm looking for.
Sometimes it's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can have it, but generally, it's really about building a team.
Yeah.
And as you build a team, you need to be cohesive.
True.
As you are cohesive, you need to be governed by the core values of the organization. All right? And so we are here because we are achieving an objective.
Yeah.
And the core values of the organization govern us. However, we also still have our values as individuals. Now, you need to understand me that my core value, one of my core values is freedom.
Okay.
All right? Allow me to be creative.
Okay.
All right? Don't put me in a box.
In a box,
If you
yeah.
put me in a box, I'll not perform.
That's true.
All right?
That's true.
So
Okay.
your role as my colleague or my supervisor
Yeah.
would be to get to know Jenny.
Okay.
All right? So you would need to listen attentively.
All right.
All right? It's not just about yourself. It's about getting to know the person,
person, yeah.
by listening attentively, having a level of empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing the right things, have a level of compassion and empathy.
yes, yeah.
And also allow me to exercise some levels of creativity.
All right.
Yeah, so we are not looking for buddy here.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
but it comes.
It comes.
The
It
minute
comes.
now you begin to understand
Yeah.
that allow me creativity, then I begin to have to like you.
Yeah.
So we begin to become the same. And that's what I also need to do. I need to
Absolutely.
listen more
Yeah.
to be able to understand. Active listening is very critical
Yeah.
in forming relationships. Yes.
And it's sometimes it's easy to connect with some people, and sometimes it takes a bit of time, and sometimes it takes a bit of work.
Yes.
Right? For you
Right.
to connect with, with some people, because again, it's an organization. There are
True.
different people from different backgrounds, different races, different ethnicities, different everything,
Yes,
right? So
right.
sometimes forging that relationship and connecting might be a bit, difficult, but at the same time, I like the fact that you said, listen, we're not coming here to look for... No. We're here to work towards a common goal,
Yes.
but if these connections come, well and good. If
Yes.
they don't, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person or you are a bad
No.
person. We just simply don't connect.
Exactly.
And to that level and understanding that, I think that then it makes it easier for people to work
Yes.
in harmony, right?
And it's important to also recognize that people have different personalities.
True.
And you'll also find within a team someone who's highly guarded. Then you'll find another who allows themselves to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so between the vulnerable one and the one that is highly guarded,
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with them.
different, yeah.
It's just who they are.
they are,
But
yeah.
the guarded one comes from an environment where trust is a big one.
Is a big one. Yeah.
And so by the time I am able to allow a level of vulnerability,
yeah.
you
It
need to
means-
build trust
Yes.
with
With
me.
this person, yeah.
And that could take time. And so it's good to understand that
Understand this,
there's nothing wrong with the relationship. It's where the person is coming from, their environment, and their personality.
Absolutely. I like that. Let's talk about family.
Okay.
And family is a big one.
Yes.
Because again, this is your blood.
Yes.
And whether you like it or not, there will forever be your family. You
True.
will not get another family to come and replace this one.
Yes.
You have to, again, learn to, you know, build and nurture that relationship that you have with your family members. Where does that even start? Because you're born with these people, you live with those people. It doesn't matter what you do, they will always remain your family. So then how do we nurture a healthy relationship amongst our family members?
Every family have what governs them.
Sure.
Spoken or
Unspoken.
unspoken.
True.
But they know very clearly the do's and the
And the
don'ts.
don'ts. Okay.
And it starts as being children.
All right.
Stop that. Don't do that.
Okay.
So you know what is permissible. As they grow older, then it gets clearly articulated.
Yeah.
You don't sit on that seat, that's daddy's seat.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So there is what you do.
Okay.
All right? You don't have dinner everywhere. There is a dining table you eat, or no, there are no rules. You eat where you want.
Where you want, yeah.
So every family has spoken
It's different,
and
yeah, it's a different
unspoken
dynamic.
rules.
Okay.
However, it is so important for every family to actually have clearly articulated, you know, behavior
Okay.
in terms of what they can do and what they cannot do. And that
Okay.
creates the boundaries around that
Yeah.
of what is expected.
Okay.
Many times when that doesn't happen, then you have unexpected behaviors that happen and cause a little bit of
Of a rift, yeah, among
a
family
rift.
members. Yeah.
Yes. And so what are some of the rules and regulations that you had in your home?
Okay.
In my home, there's a time that you cannot come back home.
Yes.
You've got to be home at this
By a certain time.
a certain time. So even when you're out there, you're looking at your watch and knowing,
Yeah.
if I am not getting going now, I'll be
Yeah.
violating
The rules.
a rule.
Yeah, you'll be in
And
trouble.
I'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
So what governs a family
Yeah.
should be clear.
Yeah,
should be clear.
clearly, you know, stated.
Yes.
But majority of the time, growing up and with children, you see, it's different then, you know, compared to now, where
Yes.
now you hear mom saying, you know, if a child says no, please respect that.
Yes.
Because they have a voice and
Yes.
they have an opinion, and
Yes.
it is okay for them to say no.
Yes.
Then we did not have that.
Yes.
Whatever the parent says or whatever an elder tells you to do, you do without question, without, even if you're uncomfortable,
Yes.
you get to do it because that is what. So then looking at this different dynamics in terms of parenting then versus parenting now, where now children are sort of like given a voice to say how they feel. You know, if they're not happy with how a parent is parenting, they can say that. If they don't want to do something, it is okay for them to say, listen, I do not want to do it because of, like, children are more vocal now as
Yes.
compared to then.
Yes.
So growing up then, where it's sort of like we quote unquote did not have a voice or did not
Yes.
have a say in
Yeah.
terms of how the family is governed, then you grow up thinking, well, okay,
Yes.
that is how it. So even when you have your own family, it's like whatever I say goes, and then your child tells you no, and you're
No,
like,
absolutely not.
who raised you? So
Yes.
understanding that this
Yeah.
dynamic.
Well, we must admit that every decade comes
I
you
mean,
know,
it changes,
with
yeah.
its own challenges and also with its own strengths.
Yeah.
And so it is true that children do have a voice.
Yeah.
And it is important to give children a voice.
Yeah.
However, a voice does not mean that the child should have a sense of entitlement. All
Yep.
right? Now, children will always be children.
True.
It's very important to give them the voice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, teach them responsibility. Okay, so while they have the voice, there is still what they can do and what they cannot do. So if you do not teach them in terms of the boundaries of what they cannot do, and they get to be overly entitled, when they grow up, then you also have other challenges.
Yes, it will be a struggle. It will
be a struggle.
And the reason why I ask that is most parents will say, I understand and respect my child's boundary. You know, so yes, they know what they're not supposed to do, but also understanding their boundary and respecting the same, which for so many people might be a little bit of a challenge in terms of your child. You have boundaries, like how and when. So let's take a break, but of course when we come back then we'll understand. So then when do we set these boundaries? How do we communicate you know, these boundaries, and how do we respond to how people respond to our boundaries? It's still a lot to cover as far as setting boundaries in relationships is concerned, and even now when we're starting the year, I think it's important to really start the year understanding this. But remember the question that we're asking you today, and that is, what boundaries have you set? And in this sense, we're talking about you know, our co-workers, our family members, you know, and any relationship that you know, we forge as we continue. What relationship boundaries have you set? The hashtag to use is your world, and engage with us on all socials. That is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, and tag me as well at Lubembe_Bini. But if you have a question directly for Karina, feel free to do so. She's here to answer all your questions as far as relationships are concerned. But of course, all that is coming up after the break. Stay with us. This is your world.
Welcome to the Ultimate Crew. This is a show that's going to test the contestants with endurance, with strength, with patience, and of course it's all about teamwork.
Sorry, monkey ball.
You cannot finish alone, you have to finish as a team.
Are you ready to be crowned the Ultimate Crew?
His legs are huge as for
Santon, a fun new world of flavor, fruity freshness in every sip.
Own your dream home from as low as 1.98 million Kenyan shillings within the popular and rapidly expanding prime neighborhood of Vipingo, Kilifi. Call us today on 0740 400 215.
If what you want is a husband with a lot of money, then I'm telling you that you were mistaken.
No, I didn't make a mistake with you. I made a mistake with us.
Be careful of a person who is not whom she says she is. She's going to arrive in your life and cause a lot of harm.
Oh my goodness, the horoscope said that? I'm really very worried now. Now I'm really worried, Marbella.
Well, keep on laughing. Are you finished?
You better leave her alone right now, or I will smash your face in. Hey, watch your mouth. I'm your older brother.
Oh, really?
Are you my brother?
Hey, stop it, you two. Stop it.
Heck is wrong with you, huh?
Break
well, you're just like your father, huh?
Enough.
It had to be you.
Recharge and get upgraded to make memories with your loved ones this new year. Anytime, anywhere. Star Times. Enjoy the...
Import your dream SUV with Murray Daddy Motors. Just pay a deposit of 1 million shillings and the balance when your vehicle arrives. Murray Daddy Motors. Over 15 years experience in car importation and over 5,000 cars safely delivered.
All right, welcome back. I'm glad you're still with us. The show is Your World, and of course today it's all about setting boundaries in relationships. And of course, like we said, it is the beginning of the year. We want to start the year right, and that is by understanding a few things in different aspects of our lives. So today we're tackling relationships, and like we said, we're not only focusing on relationships as in romantic relationships or intimate relationships, but we're also tackling work relationships. We're also talking about relationships amongst our friends and our family members as well. And the question that we're asking you is, what boundaries have you set? All right, what boundaries have you set? That is what we want to know from today's conversation. So interact with us again as usual at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter is how you can reach us. But if you want to call in live as well, feel free to do so. Jenny Karina is here with us, amazing person that you need to have a conversation with, all right, and share the wisdom that she has as far as relationships are concerned. So if you have a question directly for her, feel free to do so. Give us a call. The numbers will be down on your screen in just a moment. So on Facebook, someone actually says, boundaries, hakuna. Just like that. Hakuna. And then someone else said, this is King Elfie. No, Elijah Kithome is the one who says boundaries, hakuna. And then King Kelfie says boundaries are for wazungus. Hizi zetu ni maringo tu. Okay, important thing that I think we need to address. And then Alexander Matundu says extramarital, and then Nakaika the stop sign. So I don't know whether it's to stop extramarital. Well, that's crossing a boundary. They're not right, and they're not comfortable with that. So crossing this, do not cross that boundary. I like that. But keep texting either on Twitter or on Facebook as well. The hashtag to use is Your World. But again, give us a call if you want to speak directly to Karina, and of course she'll be answering all your questions as far as boundaries are concerned. But that question on so then when do we set boundaries, and especially when it comes to a family, when do we set those boundaries?
Well, whenever you choose to set, first and foremost, let me just say that, when we talk about boundaries, they say it's jungu. I quite understand. They call it deal breakers. Yes. All right. This is a deal breaker for me. This is a deal breaker. That's what they know better. But I'll tell you this. It's not about a deal breaker. It's about beginning by understanding who you are, what you want, and setting boundaries to ensure that you're not violated. If we don't call it boundaries, we say, what limits should we observe? What limits should we observe in our relationship? Okay? All right. If that's more African, then take on the limits. Let's use it. Okay. But, but everything has limits. Now, what generally happens, we don't have boundaries. Many people don't even think boundaries because when you put a boundary, you are saying no. Remember what you said, Mama said? You can't say no to Mama. No. So when you put boundaries, you are saying no to the next person. And in your vocabulary, a no does not exist. It's like it's wrong to say no. Now you are in a situation, you're feeling trampled, overwhelmed, and manipulated. Taken advantage of in every way. Now, you need to recognize it's because you do not have limits. And for you to have the limits, nobody is going to set them for you. You've got to set them for yourself. We are in January 2023. You've never set boundaries. You've never set limits. You just deal with deal breakers. We don't want to break any deals here. We just want to be proactive. Why should we set boundaries? To have better relationships at work and at home. Why should we set boundaries? So that we do not end up feeling taken advantage of. And
I've heard a lot of people say
why do we need to set boundaries? Because we feel overwhelmed and manipulated, and we throw in the towel. What is one boundary that you need to have? You need to have a boundary of self-care. What do I do to take care of me? How can I take care of myself better? How can I be mindful of myself? Number two, I need financial boundaries. I cannot tell you how many people struggle with financial boundaries. How many people did you lend money in 2022 that never paid you back? and you're complaining. I took a Chama loan, a bank loan, a loan from my employer. I lent this person and this person. Hajanilipa Bado. Now, who asked you to do that? It's because you've not set financial boundaries. How far can I go? How far can I lend? And so that is absolutely critical. Emotional boundaries. Do you have emotional boundaries? I mean, do not give your pulse to the pigs.
I like that. I like
you're not setting any emotional boundaries, and your heart is being broken each time, over and over again. 2023, you've got to say, I refuse. No. What are my emotional boundaries? Articulate that. It helps also to have a reflection and look back and say, how do I think I did in the last year where emotional boundaries were concerned? On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being I did really badly, 5 being average, and 10 being I've done really well, evaluate yourself. And that will help you recognize, I think I need to add a few things here to guard myself. All right? What are the physical boundaries that you have put in place? What are the intellectual boundaries that you have put in place? Now, to be able to do that, it is not just about, you will have different boundaries, maybe at the workplace. You can have different boundaries with friends, different boundaries with lovers. But at the end of the day, there has to be fundamentals that are common in every area. So why is it that you are struggling with boundaries? You are struggling because you don't know how to say no. And when you say no, you feel like a bad person because you are a codependent, you maybe have a very low self-esteem, or you've been in trauma bond relationships. All right, it's always about a people pleaser. Are you a people pleaser? All right, because you are craving for validation. Oh my goodness, people do crazy stuff simply because of validation. And you want validation because you didn't get a bonus last year, because you didn't do too well. Now, instead of just craving for that validation, maybe take a coaching session and find out which areas do I need to improve on so that I can be validated at work, at home, and in my friends.
In all these areas.
And every aspect of that. You need sexual boundaries. Do you have those boundaries? You are hurt, oh my goodness, somebody's not picking your call, and you're wondering, what did I do? What boundaries have you put in place to govern you so that you prevent yourself from pain, hurt, and devastation? Every aspect of your life,
you gotta have boundaries.
You've got to have boundaries.
Listen, and especially when it comes to like a romantic setting, sometimes it can be like a very, it's a gray area because this person says, but you're mine and I'm yours, right? So we love each other.
Absolutely.
Right? And sometimes you are abused, either emotionally, and you're like, but they love me, but they care about me, but they, you know?
Question is, how emotionally healthy are you?
Yeah.
Are you a codependent? Yeah. Are you one that has a trauma bond? Mm-hmm. Are you one that is seeking affirmation, validation? Yeah. All right. What is your response in terms of relationships?
And all those things that are happening in this relationship, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Right?
What are the things? What is the situation? Yeah. What is your response? What is the outcome? Yeah. Remember, situation plus response equals outcome. What outcome are you seeking? Even as you know, we have that tango dance. What outcome are you seeking? So it doesn't matter. You need to know the response as a result of the situation, so that the outcome is not what somebody else is looking for. It is what you want. And many times what I find unbelievable is, you know, I don't know where this relationship is going. You know, you should be telling me where that relationship is going. All right? At least you need to know the plan of where that relationship wants to go. So even as we continue to dance, I know where I want to go. Now, what happens, you're always on another person's agenda. They know what they want.
It's like they determine where this relationship goes. I do not have a say.
You don't have a say. Who has taken your voice? Remember the no? So you don't know, actually. You don't know that you have a right to choose. You actually do not know that you have a right to say yes and no.
And to say no.
All right?
And it's okay to say no. And no is a complete sentence.
And so why would you struggle? Simply because you do not know. All right? I want to give you permission today to just design your life and have a plan. Where do you want to go? With who do you want? I also find people stuck in a job. I'm so stuck, I'm overwhelmed, I don't like what I do. Why are you there? I know you need the money, but what are you doing to package yourself for your next level?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you know, I'm going to be on NTV for the next 1 year, and I'm going to find me something different that is my passion. You won't struggle because you know you are on a journey to actualize. And that's the same thing with the relationship.
Absolutely.
What is it that you are looking for? So what are the pitfalls? What are the barriers? It's all about desiring to be liked, fear of rejection, feeling guilty if I don't, for example, give you the money that you need, you not like me too much, or you will no longer be my friend, or you know, you'll not validate me. So it's all about your level of esteem and validation. And so what do you need to do? Affirm yourself. Get into the habit of affirming yourself. You're good. I'm good enough. All right? Have positive affirmations. Write down at least 10 affirmations about yourself.
Absolutely.
Read them every day. Yes. So that you can begin, you know, to feel that you are somebody and you deserve.
And sort of have control over how you feel, how you respond, and how you choose every decisions that you're making.
Choices have consequences.
You just
you do have the power to choose.
You really do. You really do. And let's just go back to marriages, because again, you are with this person every single day. So sometimes people might find it difficult to set boundaries with their partners, because they're like, we see each other every single, like we are on each other's nose almost every single day. So like, how do I set boundaries in the sense that I can tell my partner no, like no, and please learn to respect that, without like this other person you know, who said "Iyo ni maringo," you know, so then, you know, establishing that boundary. Do you communicate that when you're dating, or do you communicate that when you get into the marriage? You know, how, so that you get into this knowing, your partner knows to this level or to this, I can't go past that. When do you communicate that?
Okay, I'll tell you, and that maringo is very valid.
It's very valid,
Now, many times you'll communicate, I don't, you know, you don't cross this line, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that. I'll ask you, so what is it that I can do? Because it's so much you don't. There are boundaries that are actually not voiced.
Okay.
You just know them.
You just know,
All right?
Okay.
And it's how you conduct yourself. It's what you do. And people know that, for Jane, for Winnie, for Joseph, if you cross this line,
will be in trouble.
Time management is a big one.
It really is.
All right? Managing your time. Now, must I tell you all the time that the meeting starts at 8 You told me I need to be here at 7:30. I was here at 7.
Actually, yeah.
Because time is important. And I don't want anything to go wrong.
Yeah.
Now, you will know that time matters to me because of the way that I am behaving.
Yeah. How you
so all you need to tell me is I would appreciate if you keep time next time.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Not to say, you know, my boundary of time has been violated.
You have to respect.
You have to respect my time boundaries.
It's how you communicate.
It's how you communicate.
I like that. Someone actually said it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes, non-verbal
communication is key.
Represents over 80% of communication.
Absolutely.
Watch how you show, how you behave, your eye contact.
Yeah.
You don't need to say anything.
You don't really.
No.
Yeah, you really don't.
Yes, but that Maringo, he gets it this way.
Yeah. Yes, and I think that's the thing, and I like the fact that you said, fine, we understand where you're coming from, because honestly speaking, if we say, so these are my boundaries, learn to respect them. Of course, the first thing that will come to somebody's mind is, you know, like, who do you think you are, Maringo? But if you say, listen, these are my limits, and I hope that you respect that, there's a different way that we respond to that. So whatever works, fine. But bottom line, let's all learn to have
for relationships, they are called more of expectations.
Yeah.
My expectations of you
are.
All right.
Wait, is it right to have expectations in relationship? And I ask this question almost all the time, and people say, no, get into relationships with zero expectation, lest you have your heart broken. And I'm thinking, so then how do we survive with no expectations then?
Okay. It's governed by at what stage of the relationship.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So if you are wanting to form a relationship,
all right.
Remember we talked about core values? What are your core values?
Core values, yes.
So what kind of a person are you looking for? So when you do that, what are your core values? What job are you looking for? All right?
Yeah.
I may never work for you because we are not aligned in terms of values.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I'm not telling you my values.
Okay.
I know them.
You know them, yes.
So I am looking for that person. I'm not asking you, wait a minute, I have a value of faith. Are you aligned? Are you aligned?
If you're not aligned,
no.
Okay.
It is up to me as an individual to do the checklist.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you.
Yeah.
I just know if you have these 5 core values and 3 non-negotiables. By the way, boundaries, you do have non-negotiable boundaries.
Oh, that's true.
And that's really yours. But I can't tell you, these are my non-negotiables. You violate these ones,
we're done.
We are done. These are deal breakers here. We are done.
No.
You know them.
Yeah.
So you make the decision.
Yes.
Do I want to be with you?
Yeah.
Or don't I want to be with you? Now you are now already in the job, already in the marriage.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you want to build a marriage built to last.
True.
So what you need to do is have a monthly engagement.
Yeah.
What's working?
And review what's working, what's not.
And what's not working for us. It's no longer just me.
Yeah.
It's about us.
It's 2 people.
How can we improve? How can we have greater teamwork? And how can we have greater intimacy?
Okay.
Yes.
Listen to what someone says. I think this is in response to the question that we asked, and that is, what relationship boundaries have you set? Yeah. So this is Mwangi Karuria on Twitter, who says, my wife male besties should not exceed 3. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Sorry?
So the besties, the male best friends, should not exceed 3. And these are the friends, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That is hilarious. It's like, in short, you're not expected to have male best friends.
Yes.
Because you already have those. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
so
you're
not supposed to have any other male best friend.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because once you communicate that, right?
Yeah.
And this partner knows that this does not sit well with me.
I would say that I would want to discover where did you get that from?
Yeah.
You know, life is about associates.
Yes.
Life is about engaging with people.
Yeah.
Life is about working with both men and women.
Yeah.
Life is about likability.
Yeah.
It's about trust.
Yeah.
The core value, trust. When trust has been violated, even in childhood or in a relationship, then you are not trusting. Otherwise, if you want a good relationship, set someone free.
Allow them to be who
Allow
they
them
are.
to fly.
Yeah.
If they want a friendship, now what I would say is it's dangerous to have those friendships that are not known by your people.
Partner.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I
if
see
you are
that.
you know this person you are always
This
having
person
lunch
that
with,
you hide.
meeting behind the doors, and there is it's in secret.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Okay.
All right. Because
do you read sort of like control with this person? It's like you are not allowed, you know, and if you have to have three, I mean, in short, because that is what I'm getting from this friend,
male, female friends, whichever you choose to. But at the end of the day, it's all about trust, accountability, and transparency. Yes.
I like that. Okay. So, fine. Let's say I set my boundaries, right? And communicate. And I like the fact that you said, listen, when we're saying communicate, you don't really have to come na list. You say higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You cross these boundaries. Well, no. There's some that you will communicate.
Yes,
and there's some that, you know, they're non-verbal. People will just see based on how you respond. So then how do I respond to how people respond to my boundaries? For example, if I ask someone to sort of like respect my personal space, if you come, you know, to either my desk or whatever, and you find it, you know, this is how it is, please respect that. Or if this is how I want my things done, if this is how I want you to respect, you know, my time and all those things, right? Or even physical, don't touch me in a certain way, don't, you know, speak to me in a certain way, don't do this, don't do that. Or even finances, like you said, you also need to have boundaries. And that reminds me of again, my younger brother. Yesterday he called, he's like, listen, can I have some money? I'm like, no, you cannot have that now. And he said, listen, I watched your show and you said every beginning of the year you set aside money for family and friends, so you cannot say no. I mean, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, but it's true. So then how do I respond to people who don't respond well to the boundaries that maybe we've set? So then what do you do?
Yes. Yeah. One, you once you know what it is that you want, for example, if it is the money, there is no obligation whatsoever to give your brother or anyone. Particularly if it is under duress.
I mean, do that because you want to.
You want
to. Because you're forced
because you
to
want
do that.
Now, a lot of people give the money because of likability. All right. So you've got to question. The circumstance is I'm being borrowed money. Your response will feed your outcome. What outcome do you want here? Are you buying friendship so that you are giving the money?
Okay.
All right. So your response can simply be, I would have loved to lend you the money, but I'm already committed. My money is committed. Maybe another time. But I'll give you 2,000 just to maybe you can add it to your kitty and you close that. Now, you don't have to give, but you can choose to give. I mean, and you're not going to be lending or expecting anything
in return.
In return. So it's really about checking out your objective. Why do you want to give? Why are you overgiving?
Okay.
I find particularly in relationships, you will find somebody saying that I have lent my husband 5 million. I gave him one, then I gave him another one. He's needed again. I gave him, and he has never paid me back. And that relationship is really in a mess because he borrowed money and has never paid. Now, I don't know how you lend money to your partner. What is mine is yours. It's ours.
Artists, what's yours is ours, but what is mine is mine.
Yes. So at the end of the day, do not lend if you are expecting back. There is no obligation. In fact, there is no legal obligation to get that money money back. So then you look at the circumstance. You look at the response.
Yeah.
You are governed by the objective.
By the objective.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing wrong in saying no.
Yeah.
But we say yes because we want likability.
Yeah.
We say yes because of our weakness.
Yeah.
We say yes because we fear no because we fear rejection.
Yeah.
We say no because we know what we want.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
I love you very much.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go to the bank and borrow money for you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But I will be able to take you to the bank, introduce you, and you can do the borrowing for yourself. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Hey, that's a very good response for those people who keep asking people for money and then they never return. I think
By the way, what happens?
But yeah,
people take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Because they get to know your weakness.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And those people really are loved by everybody.
Yes.
Because their weakness is they have a very low self-esteem. They are desiring for love and affirmation, validation, affection, appreciation. And that is the tonic they need.
Yeah.
So as long as you start telling them how good they are, they imagine they will give you.
They will give you. I mean, listen.
And then they will be very disappointed.
Yeah,
that
you did not.
I've done so much for you. And
you've not done anything.
You've done
for me
nothing.
in
Nothing in return.
Yeah.
So you are giving to receive.
Yeah.
And that's a totally different ball game.
All
Set
together.
boundaries.
Yes.
And 2023, do not give what you should not be giving.
Okay.
Emotionally, financially, physically, intellectually. You've got
in all those areas
to decide
Yeah.
where your limits are.
Yeah.
Should you have hard boundaries? Not all the time.
Yeah.
Be agile.
Or make them a bit flexible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flexibility.
Yeah. Have the non-negotiables,
Non-negotiables.
like you said,
You
which
have
is good.
3 non-negotiables.
Yes.
These are my non-negotiable.
Yeah.
This is flexible.
Yeah.
This is flexible.
Yeah.
Rigid. You can't be rigid.
Yeah.
You've got to be agile.
Agile.
Yes.
I like that. I mean, for my brother's case, I sent him he's our last born. I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. He's like, yeah, I watched your show and you said that. So
yes. So give me the money.
Yeah.
So you applied agility. Said okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. And a lot of people actually struggle with that, and especially when it comes to family members. How do you say no? You know, even to friends. You're my best friend. How do you even say no to me borrowing you 200 shillings or 500 shillings or 1,000 or whatever amount? How do you say no? But there's nothing wrong with
nothing
saying
wrong with saying
no.
Nothing wrong with giving.
Yeah.
But are you fueling a habit?
Yes. You do not want to be an enabler. I like that.
So when you do fuel a habit, you become an enabler. So you are worse than the borrower.
True. Okay. Yes. And this is in all senses, like we said.
You are enabling them to
of
become nothing.
Lives. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have to unfortunately end the show like right now. But thank you so much, really. That was so much fun. I have laughed so much, and my makeup is so like ruined. You're hilarious, but also full of wisdom, Jenny.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming by today, Jenny Karina. You know, wears again so many hats. Like I said, she's a psychologist, a certified professional coach, relationship expert, and an author as well. Of course, not forgetting a mother and a wife and a grandmother. All those things. Thank you so much. I'm really for coming by today. Rachel on Twitter says, great nuggets there. Thank you. And we say thank you as well. And thank you for staying with us until the end of the conversation. I know you've learned so much from today's conversation. If you need more time, you know, and more direction and guidance, Jenny is here to give you all that, especially when it comes to forging healthy relationships at the end of the day. So I have to say goodbye. My name is Winnie Lumbembe. Have yourselves a good one. Tomorrow, of course, it is the morning fix, right? Radio Meets TV. So, of course, you're going to enjoy that and have yourselves a lovely weekend as well. I'll see you next week on Monday, same time, same place, right here on your world. But until then, stay safe and God bless. Goodbye for now.